Coming up on News 11, as a part of the Sabres team tradition, the Buffalo Sabres have gained a new team dog named Blue. The new Lockport Hospital has opened its doors for the very first time, and a pumpkin weighing 2,749 pounds broke the world record for largest pumpkin by 47 pounds. These stories and more, News 11 starts right now. Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Julia Skiba.
And I'm Jackson Hickey.
And Jackson, this is your first time on the desk. We were very excited to have you. Now, Jackson did our weather 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely blew it out of the water. So we're very excited to have you. I hope you're excited too.
I am honored to be on the desk tonight.
So we've got a lot of stories to cover, so let's jump right into it. Downtown Fredonia has many different shops available for SUNY Fredonia students and the community to explore. One of those is Next Chapter Books, which has affordable donated books for everyone to buy and enjoy. We sent Abigail Jacobson out to read a few.
If you love the feel of an old book, the sound of pages turning, or just love books in general, you should go to Next Chapter Books in Fredonia, New York. Here at Next Chapter Bookstore, you might find a book that might interest you. Like this one, for me. They offer a variety of books with different genres at an affordable price. The Next Chapter Bookstore also offers books for children of all ages.
I think literacy is hugely important. When I would inquire about a child's behavior or attention, I would say, does your child sit through a board book when you read to them? I can't tell you how many parents would say, I don't know, I don't read to my child.
Denise Griffin, a member of the community, is trying to change that.
I'll buy a bag or two of holiday books or other books for children, and then I'll put them out for them, for the size of the family. And also books from my family, nieces, nephews, friends.
Miss Griffin chooses any genre to give to the community and her family. If you need a new book to read, head down to Next Chapter Books. This has been Abigail Jacobson, News 11.
If you're interested in a new genre or want to read a new book, make sure to stop by Next Chapter Bookstore.
The Buffalo Sabres are continuing their tradition of adding a new team dog. This year, the Sabres welcome Blue, a St. Bernard Mastiff mix in collaboration with Western New York Heroes. Positive for Heroes program, Blue will train to become a service dog for a local veteran.
This past Friday, the Parents Network of Western New York and Unique Theater Company present a new inclusive play entitled Our Voice, Our Words. The actors in the play are both professional actors and actors with disabilities. Unique Theater Company started 10 years ago and created a partnership with Parents Network of Western New York, which provides different services to families with children with disabilities. The goal of the theater company was to create an option for children to try something new and allow themselves to be creative. The involvement and connection that has built over the past 10 years with Unique Theater Company is what inspired the play, Our Voice, Our Words. The show has 8 performances from October 6th to October 21st. Tickets are $35 for both Saturday shows and $20 for the remaining 6. For more information and where to buy tickets, you can visit uniquetheater.org.
As the Halloween season is rapidly approaching, new safety measures are put in place for the holiday season. The owners of Fright World, America's Scream Park, announced a new code of conduct policy in response to, quote, increasing its incidence of inappropriate behavior at entertainment venues over the last 3 years. Now, all guests aged 16 and under must be accompanied by an adult who is at least 21 years old. They did not cite any such incidents after the policy has been implemented.
On Tuesday, the doors of New Lockport Memorial Hospital opened for the very first time. This ensures healthcare access for 80,000 residents that has been left without a hospital for months. Susan Brook, the vice president of patient care services at this new hospital, said, quote, "The community was afraid that they didn't have service here. We had to open up the temporary emergency department to service this community. It's just knowing that it's here today is such a great feeling, and I think the community is feeling it as well," end quote. The 60,000 square foot facility will bring an 18-bed inpatient unit, diagnostic imaging and laboratory, outpatient care, blood drawing, medical offices, including primary care, women's health, and specialty care services.
On October 17th, News 4 will once again partner up with the Buffalo Bills Foundation to host the Huddle for Hunger event. The event is focused on addressing child hunger and creating better access to healthier food. At Highmark Stadium from 4 to 7 p.m. on October 17th. Community members can donate non-perishable food items that will then be distributed by Feed More Western New York. The highly requested sauce and other canned fruits and vegetables. In addition to the Huddle for Hunger event, there will also be a 50-50 raffle that benefits 20 local charities working to address food insecurity. This will take place from October 23rd to the 26th.
Brian McCord has been a Bills fan for over 30 years, but has never had the chance to come to Buffalo until now. His wife Tracy surprised him with flights from Missouri to Buffalo for a game. McCord said, quote, "I still can't believe it. It's like a little kid on Christmas. It's that kind of feeling," end quote, about being in Western New York for the first time. He fell in love with the Bills defense in 1988 and hasn't looked back since. One store owner, Therese Fortin Barnes, who saw Brian and Tracy enter her store with tears in their eyes and said, quote, "The power of the Bills Mafia is undeniable. I just met this couple and we will be friends with them for the rest of my life," end quote. Brian and Tracy got to join a Fortin Barnes store, the Water Buffalo Club, for the tailgate before the game.
In a recent advertisement, Bills quarterback Josh Allen partnered with Pepsi to introduce the world to Buffalo Pepsi. In the ad that has quickly gone viral on social media, Josh Allen invited people to add a little buffalo to their drink using the following steps. First, order buffalo wings and Pepsi, then order extra buffalo sauce. Now get this. Pour a little of the buffalo sauce into your Pepsi, mix it with celery, and leave it in there for a little garnish. Finally, enjoy your new favorite drink. I'm not sure about that. He encouraged people to spice it up a bit and add a blue cheese rim. Fellow Western New Yorkers have been trying this classic Buffalo take on Pepsi, and the results have been surprisingly positive.
Chefs with the Sabres and Delaware North has announced on Tuesday a revamp of the menu at the KeyBank Center. The new extravagant items on the menu will first be released on the first Sabres game of the season. The menu includes 2-foot-long loaded nachos, a prime on weck sandwich, as well as a hat trick footlong. They also decided to take a crack at the dessert menu. They have created a churro and cookies and cream milkshake that will rotate throughout the season. Fans are looking forward to being able to experience the new menu. And when we come back, your national stories. We'll be right back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. 'Cause when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
on a deeper level.
Father,
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
So William Johnson, he's a very, very influential and important man in colonial America.
We're not going to take this lying down.
Welcome back. West Maui is welcoming tourists back 2 months after the fire that wreaked havoc over the land. But as visitors return, the people of Maui are still displaced and struggling to recover. More than 2,000 buildings were destroyed in the fires, most of them being homes. Vance Honda, a Maui resident, said that, quote, because of the tourism opening up, a lot of residents have to relocate, so it's been very difficult and there's a lot of mixed emotions, end quote. As many residents await answers on when they can start rebuilding their homes, Hawaii's government pushed ahead to jumpstart tourism in an effort to boost the economy and create more jobs.
Logging into your Google account may look a little different soon. Google is looking to get rid of passwords, instead insisting users' passkeys to unlock their accounts through fingerprints, face scans, or PIN numbers. The company said that these new passkeys will be helpful as they won't require people to memorize passwords. This new change will now be the default option during password creation. However, Google will continue to support traditional passwords if having to unlock sounds unpleasant altogether. Users can utilize account skip password when possible option.
A biotech company known as Hound Labs has now developed a product that can detect cannabis use. The goal of the cannabis detection is to take a sample of one's breath, preserve it, and take it to a lab for analysis. Hound's Lab is currently working on a second model for results on scene. Mike Lynn, the chairman of the board at Hound Labs, says, quote, the Hound Cannabis Breathalyzer is the first and only breath test that's now commercial that can help an employer have a deterrent for cannabis use, but at the same time, to allow employees to use legally off hours just like we do with alcohol, end quote. The first use of this product was launched with the intent of employers to use, but they hope as they continue and develop the technology, other industries such as police departments can use the technology too. Prior cannabis tests used urine, hair, and blood tests which could show cannabis use, but could not show when the product was used, if it was within the last hour, days, or even month. With this new technology, the breathalyzer gives employers a more accurate picture of cannabis use within the past few hours.
A pumpkin weighing 2,749 pounds broke the world record for largest pumpkin by 47 pounds. Horticulture teacher Travis Geiner has been growing pumpkins since he was a teenager and has won largest pumpkin at the World Championship Weigh-Off in California 3 times previously. Geiner watered the pumpkin 12 times a day and invested about $15,000 for its care. The award-winning pumpkin was planted on April 10th and required a massive investment of time and care from Geiner. Followers of the annual pumpkin weigh-off are excited to see what Geiner produces next.
The beloved Halloween tradition is coming back to McDonald's this fall. Starting October 17th, the fast food place will be bringing back their Boo Buckets by popular demand. These Boo Buckets will serve as a temporary replacement for Happy Meal boxes. There are 4 different festive designs that customers could possibly get: monster, skeleton, mummy, and vampire.
And when we come back, Brent Consillo joins us for our sports update, and another weather anchor is joining News 11. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared, the memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We're now joined by Brent Casillo, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports?
Well, last weekend was a pretty eventful weekend for all of SUNY Fredonia sports. So we had, on Saturday, October 7th, the women's tennis team traveled to Plattsburgh for their final match of the season to face off against the State Cardinals. The Blue Devils pulled through and ended strong, winning this 5-4. The singles is where the girls dominated as they won 4 out of the 6 single sets that were played. The team finished 1-4 on the season, and they look to come back better and stronger next year. The men's swimming team traveled down to Pitt Bradford last Saturday to face off against the Panthers. The Blue Devils fell short to the Panthers as they lost the meet 115 points to 48. We got a chance to interview Patrick McCrone, who was the Athlete of the Year last year for SUNY Fredonia, and here's what he had to say about the team's performance against the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a smaller team, and it's in swimming. Most of the teams we swim against are a lot bigger of teams, so it is sometimes tough to put up a good fight. But swimming really comes down to a lot of team spirit and keeping each other on track and focused. And so I think we're really good at doing that as a team. I thought the women's team had great relays, and I want to shout out Noah Wisniewski for his 100 freestyle and his 100 breast as well, winning both of those events himself.
Men and women's soccer team also traveled to Plattsburgh last weekend as the men's soccer team lost 2-1 and the women's soccer team lost 1-0. For the guys, they got on the board early with a goal from Caleb Stewart with a little bit of help from his teammate Chance Lacroix. Both goalies for the Blue Devils played well as Tanner Stutzman played most of the game, clocking in at 74 minutes and 42 seconds. He had 8 saves with 1 goal allowed, and Thomas McDonald played the final 15 minutes and 18 seconds of the game, making 3 saves with 1 goal allowed for a total of 11 shots for the State Cardinals. It was a defensive battle as the Blue Devils only had 6 shots and 1 goal, but ultimately fell short of coming out on top. They look to get back into the winning column this Saturday, October 14th, against oh my God, I don't know how to say it. I messed that up. Moving on. For the women's soccer game against Plattsburgh, it was also a defensive battle as only 1 goal was allowed the entire game. The State Cardinals only allowed the Blue Devils to get 3 shots on net, and the Blue Devils to get 3 shots on net, and the Blue Devils only allowed 9, only allowing 1 goal on 9 shots, but on the other side, Lauren Haley from the State Cardinals stayed strong in net as well, accomplishing a shutout. The girls search to get a win this Saturday. This past Sunday, the Buffalo Bills traveled across the pond as they traveled to London to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. To say the least, this was not one of the best outings for the Bills, as the Jaguars won 25-20, with their quarterback Trevor Lawrence throwing for 315 yards with 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and connecting 25 out of 37 pass attempts. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen threw for 359 yards, and he threw for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and connecting 27 out of 40 pass attempts. Wide receivers Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis both had 100-plus receiving yards, with each of them getting a touchdown. The stats sound really good for this game, but ultimately, the Bills had a slow start and didn't start playing like how they should be until the second half. At that point, it was a little too late to say the least. They return home this Sunday night, October 15th, to face off against the New York Giants. This is a primetime game as kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. and you can watch it on NBC as the Buffalo Bills are eager to get back into the win column.
Thank you for our update. So now we are going to move on to our weather forecast by our veteran weather forecaster, Hunter. What do you have for us?
Let's be honest, folks, today has brought some pretty great weather for us. And if you like today, I have some good news for you. It's here to stay for at least a couple days. Starting us off tonight, temperatures are expected to drop as low as 43 degrees, which has been some of the highs for some of our more recent days. Tomorrow is going to look a lot like today did, with a high of 59 and minimal cloud coverage. Get out there and enjoy those bright blue skies while you can, because when I come back with your weekend weather forecast, it's not going to look as promising. But for right now, let's pass it right back to the hosts.
Thank you so much, Hunter. And when we come back, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Mis Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
On October 7th, the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an attack on Israel. Following the attack, Israel has announced a, quote, siege of Gaza, a densely populated territory controlled by Hamas. Israel is cutting the community off from food, water, and electricity. Additionally, Israeli jets have been hitting Gaza with frequent attacks. The conflict between Israel and Palestine comes as a result of land disputes. Israel has expanded its land across the West Bank, which is technically claimed by Palestine. Many living along the West Bank are Jewish settlers who believe that it is their religious birthright to settle there, as the territory is right near Jerusalem. Because of Israel's land expansions, there have been several disputes between the countries. Israel has launched attacks on Gaza in 2008, 2012, 2014, and 2021, killing thousands of Palestinian people and children and destroying homes and schools. The rising conflict between the two countries is what ultimately led to the attack currently. It's reported by ABC News that over 1,000 people in Gaza are dead and over 5,000 more are injured. This is a developing story on News 11, and we'll have an update on the conflict next week.
The Pacific coast of West Mexico suffered the Category 4 Hurricane Lydia, making landfall in Puerto Vallarta on Tuesday. This was following the landfall Monday of Tropical Storm Max that was several hundred miles away. At its height, Lydia was sustaining winds of 105 miles per hour before weakening. Based on the most recent updates, there have been no deaths or injuries, but trees and power lines are down. Lydia sustained status of a level 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour. Residents and tourists are advised to be wary of flooding, with the expectation of 12 inches of rainfall in some parts of the country.
Bedbugs have infested Paris, France, and there is fear the infestation will travel overseas. France has had bedbug issues since 2017. However, there has been a rapid increase in the amount of infestations due to more travel to and from Paris. The number of infestations soared over Paris Fashion Week. Bedbug numbers decreased during the pandemic, which led to the conclusion that the infestations were caused by travel. The infestations have been increasingly difficult to control due to the rise in bug resistance to insecticides. Now, when we come back, your trending stories, plus Hunter will be back again for a look at your weekend weather. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
1984 Olympic legend Mary Lou Retton is currently in the face of a serious and rare health battle. At 55 years old, she is currently hospitalized with a rare form of pneumonia. And she is unable to breathe on her own. After having a life of historical athletic achievements at the Olympic level, such as being first American woman to win overall gold in gymnastics, to continuing on to being a fitness ambassador, Retton's health has always been important to her. Her daughter McKenna has shared that her mother is uninsured and she wishes to pay her steep hospital bills. She is asking for any help that they can get in the form of donations and prayers.
Drake has announced that he will be stepping away from music due to health reasons. The rapper announced his health break last Friday. He states that he has been dealing with recurring stomach issues and has decided that he will make health his top priority. Drake also mentioned that he wants to take some time to focus on being with his son. He states that he will be away for, quote, maybe a year or maybe a little longer, end quote.
Broadway superstar Jordan Fisher will be joining the official cast of Tony-winning Hadestown next month. Fisher, whose Broadway creations include Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen, was most recently seen on the stage as Anthony in the Tony-nominated revival of Sweeney Todd. Fisher has expressed nothing but excitement as he prepares to take on the role of Orpheus and has said that he is, quote, beyond honored and grateful for the opportunity to step in and steward such a beautifully crafted character. He has even gone on to say that him and his family have been listening to the cast album on repeat recently. Fisher will step into the role of Orpheus beginning November 20th at the Walter Kerr Theater. He will succeed original cast member Reeve Carney, who will be departing the production on November 19th. Now, I wanted to circle back a little bit to our Buffalo Pepsi. I think we can't ignore that.
Yeah,
I think we
agree.
have to talk about that. What are your thoughts?
I am not sure about that. Hot sauce and Pepsi, I don't know. They're saying that people liked it, but I'm not sure. If you watch and liked it, then certainly let us know on social media, but I don't see how that would be enjoyable.
I saw the video, the whole tutorial, and I was a little concerned. The blue cheese rim was kind of a lot for me, but anyway. Hunter, you've got some of our weather for us, but first, give us your thoughts on Buffalo Pepsi.
Well, I'm going to start it off pretty simple. I don't like hot sauce and I don't like Pepsi. And celery is okay, but it's not top 5 for me. So overall, I'm not enjoying this drink. Getting into our weekend weather, at a low point actually, Saturday is going to be pretty rainy nearly the entire day, only reaching up to a high of 52 degrees. It's going to be pretty chilly. The rain continues into the night as our temps drop down to a breezy 46, and you may want to spend Saturday inside. Sunday will look a lot like Saturday, keeping those easy breezy winds with that high of 54. I do have some good news for you though, as it is only expected to be a light rain, which is going to be perfect for dancing in late at night. Heading into Monday, the weekend rain is not going to stop until late Monday evening. Monday will also have a high of 53 degrees, making it look almost identical to the weekend prior. But that's all I have for your weekend forecast, so right on back to the anchors.
Thank you, Hunter. And that does it for News 11. Thank you so much for our behind the scenes crew, and we'll be back next Thursday.
And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. Have a great night.